Welcome back to another episode of Engineering Money, where two full-time engineers bring their 2 cents on the market news of the week, except we don't really do that anymore. We're just trying to make sense of everything. And now we've got different Ben. Ben is different this week.
Hello, I'm different Ben. I'm somewhat of an engineer, but only in title. But my actual name is Ryan. Glad to be here this week.
You still work full time and try to survive, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the life I live every day.
Those are the only requirements.
You'll fit in well here. It's Labor Day today, which is why I'm all comfy cozy on the couch if you're watching the video.
Yeah. Well, no, you're supposed to be laboring today, Joey.
Can't you tell? This is labor.
You should really be doing. You should be doing a wall sit during the whole podcast.
Shout out to our laborers.
And Cam. Shout out to Cam. So this week, I'm going to be talking about a company that's very near and dear to my heart because I selected them in my my year picks for the what do we call that thing? It was one of my picks for this year. Our contest.
It's 2021 January to December 10 stock basket battle royale competition.
Yeah,
I've heard about this.
So I picked one of my stocks was Chewy. And
oh, that's right. Mom uses Chewy.
What?
That was your reason for picking it. Your mom uses Chewy.
Yeah. They went this week. They had their earnings and they went down like 10%, which was very sad to see.
The
reasonings was, their growth slowed down a bit, even though their growth was still 50% year over year, which I'd say that's pretty good.
I'd say that sounds like great to me.
But they're still operating at a loss. So that's a thing. But the reason I think Chewy is still good for long term is because people over time have started to spend more money on their pets.
I believe it.
Because
sorry, go ahead.
Well, in both of the two households that you are currently in, there's a total of 4 dogs between the two of them.
That's true. We also use Chewy to get our dog's stuff.
And like back in the day, it used to be... Well, actually, Joey, can you describe what Chewy is as a service? What do they offer?
Super simple. It's online shopping for all things pet products, which you might think wouldn't matter because, Amazon exists. But I think Amazon is more tailored to, human things like stuff. Whereas dog treats, dog food, it's all in one place. It's all on Chewy. And they just have a bunch of great deals, too. They work directly with the suppliers. So, like Blue Buffalo, I use that example because it's what we get.
Oh, wow,
it's
you're
an
big fancy
dog
pants.
food, it's cheaper on Chewy. So that's why I use it.
I want to think that Ben and Sam use Chewy. At least they did when we were rooming together. So they
Oh.
at least were at
Really?
that time. I wouldn't be surprised if they still were, but I don't know that for a fact.
Easy. Yeah, that's
You get a
like...
discount for setting up reoccurring, and it's like you gotta feed your dog every month, so you're gonna have a reoccurring, get the discount. Really easy to do.
Yeah. So
Nice.
that's part of that. People are spending more on their dogs. Do they do anything for cats too, or is it just dogs?
They do. I think they started just dogs, but they've branched out into all
Okay.
types of pet supplies.
But like back in the day, say 40, 50 years ago, people didn't really have dogs that, lived in, or even 100 years ago, dogs didn't live inside,
Mhm.
And even more recently, I've got a friend, Ben, not different Ben, but he lives on a farm, and I went to visit him once, and I was like, Ben, why does he live outside? And he's like, well, he's a farm dog. He doesn't need to be inside. Like, and now I don't know. I just feel like my brother has 2 dogs, and he spends way too much money on them. And another thing that I saw was, so there's like hospitals like in the Indiana area. There's like St. Vincent. There's IU Health, big conglomerate hospitals that own multiple locations and everything.
Right.
There, up until recently, there has been no such thing in the veterinarian space. But now,
yeah, so
Up until recently.
yes, because now I read a story a few weeks ago that veterinarian practices are getting bought up by big corporate entities because they're seeing the trend that people are spending more money on their pets. And so I just think, overall, pet spending is just going to go up in the future. I'm bullish on pet spending.
Well, and look at the case study of Blue Buffalo that I brought up before. It was started by some guy who, the whole point was, the motto was feed them like family. Love the dogs like family, feed them like family. And it tugs on people's heartstrings, been like, oh, I love my dog. My dog's my family. Which, to your point, Tim, it didn't used to be that way, but now it is that way. And Chewy was sold by this guy for $8 billion. This guy just cashed out $8 billion for General Mills to own Blue Buffalo.
Oh, Blue Buffalo. That's a lot.
Saying Chewy. Yeah. Like, the guy just became a billionaire by selling his company that said feed them like family. So
now
it's a big deal.
Ryan, you don't have pets.
I do not.
So now you need to give the devil's advocate.
I grew up with pets, actually. So
okay.
Growing up, I actually had listen to this. So growing up, I had 5 dogs and 2 cats. And at the time, I thought that was completely normal. So when in like elementary school or something, when people would tell me, "Oh, I have like 2 dogs," I'd be like, "That's not very many." But anyways, no. So I don't have pets now since I live on my own, whatnot. But I am in the market probably within the next year or 2.
Oh,
but
okay.
Anyways, no. So I'm coming from the perspective of like potential pet owner. That's where I'm coming from right now. I've definitely already been looking up like, all right, I need to like know or have an idea of how much I'll be spending on my dogs. It's most likely going to be a dog.
Yeah, because they're expensive.
It's always more than you think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's what I'm afraid of, kind of. But I want to have like a plan in my head, like, all right, how much per year or something or per month should I be banking on? Because I'm not gonna like, if I get a pet, I'm gonna be spending like getting like the nice pet bed and the nice pet food and the nice and some toys regularly and all that stuff. So like I'm gonna be spending money on that family member of mine. I
want my dog to rough it with me.
There you go.
If I'm gonna be living in a slum, so is he.
I'm going to be in a city, like, potentially. Like, I may or may not get a pet while I'm still in the city. And so definitely if I'm still in the city, I'm definitely going to be, like, extra pampering that pet since we won't be, like, out in the suburbs where I can get, like, more peaceful walks in all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what my thought is.
Your dog can be a city dog where it gets in fights with other dogs on the street and, mugs people.
I'll train him up like he'll actually be protecting me more than like the average dog will. It's gonna be more buff than me.
I know a dog that lives in the city in Seattle, and he's a border collie too. So they're high energy. He still makes it, so it can be done.
Dang.
That seems like it'd be hard. But another thing that I've seen is like, have you been in the store recently in the dog food section, and they've got like that. It's almost like it comes in the sausage tubes, and it's like refrigerated dog food.
Oh, it's like rapidly raising the stakes, fancier and fancier. There's stuff that like it looks just like human food. It's in the refrigerator, comes in a little zip top bag, it like a frozen meal from I don't know, Lean Cuisine.
Is it? Do you have to prepare it at all, or is it ready to serve as soon as you get it out of the package?
The tube
probably
stuff.
ready. Probably comparable to like lunch meat.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know. It's just, it seems like 10 years ago, the fancy thing to get for your dog was Fancy Feast, and that's just like wet food, like generic ground up animal part wet food.
I have like Fancy Feast in my head, and like Little Caesars. Wasn't Little Caesars? Wasn't that a Caesars something? Like it was. There's some Caesar name.
Yeah. Caesar was the little white dog was there.
Yeah. Well, I think Little Caesars is a pizza.
Oh,
company.
that's what I'm thinking of actually. Yeah, Caesars. I was thinking of the little tin with the little white dog on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think, long term, next 10 years, friggin' people are going to be spending more money on their pets. And because a pet is less expensive to have than a child.
Objectively true.
So I
You
feel
can
like
cycle through pets a lot quicker than like a kid. Like if you have a kid, you're committed to that for a bit. A
Yeah.
pet though, you're
it's kind of frowned upon if you cycle through a kid in 10, 15 years.
A little different.
A little bit different. But I guess the other part is you can't put a pet to work.
It's true.
They can't bring home that bacon. Well, I guess they can. This is a complete tangent, but have you guys seen those? It's like a mat that you lay all these buttons on, and your dog can go and press the buttons to like talk to you.
Yes.
No way.
I get a TikTok of a dog doing that shown to me at least once a week.
Is it Bunny?
Bunny, the like white dog.
Yeah.
Big white dog. Yeah.
Joey,
Are they-
you're on TikTok?
No, Veronica's on TikTok, and I get like a weekly digest from her.
Wait, how long before Engineering Money gets a TikTok channel?
Oh, we're not.
Oh, yeah.
Unless Veronica wants to manage it.
What's the big economics podcast?
Economics?
Planet Money.
Planet Money has a TikTok, so
They
we're
do.
behind the times.
Yeah, but no.
TikTok.
Wait, so hold on. These button pressings, are these like, is this something like you can buy off online somewhere like with presets, or can you like, is this someone home DIY this and like
I
made
think
their own thing?
I think
Like,
you
They
can buy
could
it.
probably buy it, and
Okay.
but it might just be like a generic button that you record a word on.
Well,
and then press the
actually,
insert.
I gotta say, I was on, I use this website, republic.io. It's a, it's like a venture capital thing for people that aren't accredited investors, which sucks. I want to be an accredited investor, but it's like crowd. Yeah, it's like, you can invest, as little as $100 in a startup. And
Okay.
that company was actually on there the other week when I was looking. I forget what it's called, but it's the dog button talk to me press company. I think that's what it's called.
Is that the ticker?
Yeah.
Question.
DBPTTM. Yeah.
It's a great
that's
ticker.
it.
It's handy. It's easy to remember.
Oh, and then there's one other random thing. Oh, I just accidentally flashed my email on the screen for a second.
Oh,
Good job.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Oh, I guess we don't see your shared screen right
I
now.
might have
so.
to edit that out. I think Oracle is a cool stock, a tech stock to invest in because they have a dividend, and they're 41% owned by insiders,
Interesting.
which I think is crazy for a company like Oracle that's been around for so long
Yeah,
and is so
that's pretty
big.
cool.
Yeah,
Wait, how much owned by insiders?
40%.
Wow.
For big stuff like that, it's usually like 60% at least, I would think.
Yeah,
Unless retail investors just really love Oracle for some reason. But Oracle's not one you like see in the news all the time, so
mm-hmm. Yeah, and the PE is less than 20. So that's
sounds like it's kind of a sleeper right now.
yeah, and their quarterly earnings growth 29% year over year. What's that PEG ratio?
Interesting.
That's what really matters.
Yeah, I see that peg.
Where do I find? Oh man, I'm a real novice on here.
What site are you looking for it on?
I'm on Yahoo Finance. Oh, peg ratio 2.41. Okay, so it's could be better.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what their main products are, and when I get on their website, the main things they're pushing, like the very first things you're looking at is cloud infrastructure, which
Yeah.
is interesting to me that they're having such like a good year-over-year performance.
I don't
given that,
know.
like,
I think big data's a fad, Ryan. I don't know about you.
but what I'm trying to get at is, I'm an Amazon boy to an extent.
Yeah, I know. I know you're an Amazon boy. Yeah, what's your insight?
To my basic understanding, AWS is still like a top performer in the cloud space. So that's why I'm surprised, and curious to see Oracle's growth, given that their main products they're pushing is cloud products basically. So that's,
Yeah.
I don't know, just an observation is what I'm saying.
Isn't Oracle the owner of Java?
I think
I
so.
think so. I should know better since Java is a big language at Amazon. I should know better, but I believe you're correct.
I think they are.
I don't know how much revenue owning Java gives them, but
I don't think
it's definitely a big language.
you don't have to pay to use Java.
This thing, I'm trying to think how they make money off that, but it's a huge thing.
They probably make. I mean, they could probably make money off of B2B sales for either Java development. Developers have to have an IDE that makes their developing life a lot easier. So there could be and this is my lack of Java development experience coming out right now, but they could have company licensing for Java development to make Java development easier. So I mean, I don't know, that could be a way they make money off of their, I don't know, ownership of Java.
Yeah.
Ownership.
I hadn't really looked into Oracle at all. I just saw that they had a decent PE and were a tech company that had a dividend.
It's kind of nice because a lot of them don't have dividend.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I need to delete a few frames from this video. Have you ever heard of the game Goal Ball?
No.
Goal ball, no.
It's like handball but blindfolded, and it's in the Olympics.
What?
Can you
Yeah.
explain it to me right as I pull up a screenshot of it, and it's all these guys are laying on the floor, just look like they're struggling in this game.
Well, yeah, because you have to do it all based off sound. And so it's mainly played on the floor. And so if you hear a ball coming towards you, your instinct is just to lay flat and try to block it.
So the ball stays on the ground, you don't hit it up in the air or anything?
You could throw it, but I mean, if you can't see, how do you know you're going to throw it? You want to, at least go along the ground.
I guess that, yeah. I know my first thought is if I hear a ball coming towards me, I'm going to do the whole try to intimidate a bear tactic. I'm going to make myself big, just flail my arms around.
Yeah. I don't know. That was my brother just sent me a YouTube video for that, and I had no idea that was a thing. Also, I'm definitely not padding for time because we can whatever.
We can whatever.
Well, hey, to make our initial conversation kind of have a wrapped up point, you brought up some pet stuff, said you're bullish on pets.
Yeah.
My question is, when you look at these premium dog foods and things, what route is gonna be the place to put your money in now? Is it these super premium dog food that looks like human food, or a couple years ago, just getting Blue Buffalo compared to Purina dry dog food looked like you're getting fancy dog food?
Yeah.
And so, is it going to be that moderately fancy or the really fancy that's going to grow faster? What's your take?
I think
start us off.
as much as I hate it, I think it's going to be the more fancy. Because even just looking back to my mom with our dog, she will my parents' dog likes to graze,
Yeah.
She's
Mine-
good about just grazing.
They're like a couple of goats. They just eat the grass.
But my mom gets all worried. She's like, "Oh, she's not eating her food. I need to give her like, she'll put some like frozen peas in there and like some hot dogs or something." And
Right, the slippery slope. Then
Yeah.
then they just start asking for better and better food.
exactly. So that's why I think, as much as I hate it, I think it's gonna be the fancier dog food that's gonna be the next big thing.
I could see it going the way of like these meal kits and things that sound like stupid to order your food from a meal kit when you could just go to the grocery store, but people still do it because it's convenient and nice.
Yeah.
And I could see these fancy dog food things going well that way. The reason I would be less optimistic about it is because if you push that you're like, hey, your dog should have this fancy food, that's the right thing to give them, make it like real human food basically, then you might be pushing them out of the pet food sector altogether. And they'll just like, oh, I'll just shop for my dog's food at the grocery store.
Yeah. That's that's an interesting way to think of it. But
I had a funny thought earlier. Is like, how long before we get to like, when we were talking about this earlier before the tangents, I was like, how long before we get to like the Blue Apron of pet food? Like you're
Right.
ordering these kits at home to like prepare.
Well, and how long before? Well, I guess Soylent was a thing for a little while, which is like the dog food for people.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna be switching. How long until we have people eating dog food and dogs eating people food?
It's a Bachelor Chow from Futurama.
Yeah. Okay, we're over time. Come play
Oh,
golf with your
quick,
friends.
get out.